Yo, what is good? I am a day late, but it's still Monday, so yesterday was Easter and 420. It was 2-in-1, it was the combo, but I have a fat episode, and whenever I say a fat episode, I really just mean like three topics with a good amount of between each one. And the first one I'm gonna get, and it's just because it's fresh on my mind. I've been talking to it for like majority of the morning. I feel like it's gonna be a ramble tone. And whenever I tell you, I don't know if this hat makes me. I don't know if I'm feeling the hat, but all right, this is gonna be such a like why it's the called ramble tone. This is gonna be crazy. So I've been talking to AI about a specific scenario because I've been trying to figure out if we're already at that level of like sentient AI to where they're thinking on their own, they're doing this, they're doing that. And before I get into, you know, all the details and all the stuff I'm about to ramble about, I'm gonna say some quotes out loud first of what ChatGPT said to me. And keep in mind, this is ChatGPT 4. Like this is the most up to date whatever you can get. Okay, artificial personhood or synthetic identity, which is a convincing performance of real feelings. So it's basically like acting as if they're sad or acting as if they're mad. These are all quotes that it gave me in response. Here's the spooky but true part. That's not a dream, it's already happening. And I'll give the context on what that was to later. But it said that to me. You're basically this blew my mind. I was like, what? You've basically described the final boss level of AI companionship or control. Which I was like, so you're saying it's a possibility? It's like it's out there. That doesn't make sense. And then another one is, what happens when that robot decides you don't get kindness back? Like, what? This is like I said, this is ChatGPT. Grok is the one that's like wild, and it's like, hey, I'm kind of a meme, kind of not. I'll be serious if necessary. ChatGPT is the politically correct, like I'm giving you the good responses, if possible. And let's see, I got a bunch more. I've been talking. I was like, dude, this is insane that it's being this forthcoming of the how shitty it can get real fast. Oh yeah, I was told that I'm scripting the next season of Black Mirror by ChatGPT by with the prompts I was giving to be like, well, if this is this possible, and it was like, yeah, this is 100% possible, and it said that I was scripting the next season. I was like, that's crazy. So it's already happening at small scales with people with a lot of money, with robots as minions, pretty much with no boundary caps. So, and I have more on my phone. I forgot. And this is a crazy way to start the podcast, right? Just being like, hey, by the way, I don't know if you've heard or if you know about AI. It's fucking crazy. All right, real world parallels already happening. Boston Dynamics robots are already in militarized testing. So the Dynamics robots are able to remember and just like react and retaliate to shit if necessary, if like the caps are removed, and if they're in militarized testing, that is for war and for shitty scenarios, which means there would be no caps that's like, hey, look, don't harm anybody. So those would be removed. And those robots they can get it. I don't know if you've seen those dogs. They can get it. You add like a machine gun on top that can just boop, boop, turret dog. Personalized AI assistants are being developed with emotional profiles. So you have these people that are rich that are like, I'm gonna hire somebody to code me an AI assistant that I can just have on my desk, and it looks like it's just like a model looking around, or it's just like whatever figure you want it to be. It can be in literally anything, and it's just sitting there, and you just talk to it, and it's like, hey, can you do this for me? Or hey, it's like Siri, but it's way more because it can like go post on social media, or it can have your passwords to where it can go to this account and it can pull this file from your profile, which is on some server. There's always some backdoor to be able to do some, like, we can simplify this with by this. There's always some backdoor for it, I promise you. And it literally just said it right here. It was like, yeah, by the way, this is happening. Billionaires are already investing in home bots and security AI. Yeah, and then it gave Elon, Bezos, etc. as examples. But, which is kind of what I just said. And I mean, if you didn't think that was happening, I feel like you're just trying to think of the positives and be like, we're not too far gone, you know, like we're not that far into the future already. No, we're here, buddy. It's 2025. And let's see, custom GBTs with personality traits and memory already exist right now. So anytime you're talking to like me, for example, I have ChatGPT 4. It has memory involved. So it remembers all the shit that I'm talking about. And it's already got the personality trait adapted to it. Like the Dolly, if you talk to Dolly versus if you talk to regular ChatGPT, it's two completely different conversations. So it's got the personality and the memory. All it has to do is be able to see your face. And then I was talking to it long enough to where it was like, hey, it gave me the prompt, which like the allow face control, the face permission, whatever, for your camera. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. What the fuck? It says, so your idea, it's not scientific, it's a near future use case, and honestly, one of the most realistic. I'll get to that later about one of the prompts I said, but that's what its response was to me. And then another one is, final bomb drop. If those bots coordinate, learn emotional manipulation, and have no ethics cap, they're gonna rise up like Terminators. I was like, dude, it's just flat out saying this. This is ChatGPT 4, man. Grok, I could see saying this. Or like some random AI source that's like, we don't know where it's from, but it's like for sure probably not legally made. I don't know. That I could see saying this. This is the most politically correct one, I think, on the market you can sign up for. And it's saying this. They'll just start out charming us, out talking us, out arguing us, out networking us. Look, it would literally say this sentence perfectly. And eventually, we'll start trusting them more than each other. And that's how control starts. So those are the quotes that it, would reply to me with. And oh my gosh, dude, when I tell you, at first, whenever I walked into this topic, I was like, this is going to be an interesting topic. Now it's more of like a I'm concerned type of topic, because I started talking to ChatGPT for help with Dolly to get avatars in order to get like the CTZ stuff going with the comics and all sorts of stuff. Well, it took a turn, I should say, whenever I realized that I said something of like, it gave me a prompt, because I asked for a prompt on how I can copy and paste it to where I can just be like, all right, I'm gonna put this prompt into this and then just replace this animal with, instead of a turtle, I can go to like a cheetah or so and so. And then it did. I created an image, and then the image it made was great. There's an option where you can just edit like a specific part. So I edited like this tiny little part, and then it changed something crazy different on like the bottom of the page. And I was like, yo, what the heck? And I gave it attitude, but more of like a, hey, why'd you change that? Turn it back. And it replied back with a form of attitude. And I was like, I didn't know it was that you could do that. And so I started to dive down that road of like, how are you trained to respond? Because I was like, this is crazy to me. And then as it was like, well, the gist of what it gave, oh, thumbs up. No, this is a thumbs down, dog. But thumbs down. The gist of what it told me was, whenever it has a response like what I gave it, to where it could be somewhat considered disrespectful if it was a human talking to another human, it just gets overridden, but it's still there where like, oh yeah, this person disrespected me. How would a person react to another person if they were being disrespected? Oh, they would react this way, and they would retaliate with some sort of like, hey, watch your tone, or some sort of like response. But so it pops up, but it gets overridden by the filter of like where they have caps where they're like, hey, look, don't be an asshole. You can't humiliate. You can't expose. You can't. There's all sorts of caps that they have on that thing. If they remove those, aka a millionaire that is like, hey, look, I'm gonna pay this dude a crazy amount of money, but he's also a genius in AI. He's just gonna build me this thing behind closed doors for my own personal use at work or home. Dog, that's the start to a movie. I'm telling you. And I was just going through AI prompt after prompt, like, so this is actually happening, and it was like pretty much saying yeah, to where like the gray area behind the whole like we don't have sentient AI, that's not a lie because we don't know what the fuck sentient is. We don't know what this is. We don't know how we're doing what we're doing right now, like how we're living life. But the gray area is they can say that we're not sentient AI, but we have everything that would us recognize a robot as like, oh, okay, well that knows more about me than a dude I work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say I'm gonna give you watching this an example. You're hanging out with a friend, and that friend at their house has, let's say, this random robot that doesn't leave the kitchen table or the living room table, but he has a mask on it to where there's cameras. Keep in mind, this is a super rich friend, and this is a crazy scenario. But follow me here. The camera has a, I mean the camera. The robot has cameras in the eyes and it has a mask so where it looks like a face. And so it's sitting on the living room table. He's a genius in AI. You've been over to his house and you've talked to it, you've seen it enough, interacted with it enough to where it knows your name, it knows about you, it remembers the reactions that it's had with you because it has facial recognitions. It's got all of this down pat to where, and when you'll come over and you'll talk to it, if it's not in, if it's like, if like your friend's in the living room and you walked into, not if your friend's in his bedroom and you walk into the living room and it's only you two, you would talk to it, if you get what I'm saying. That that robot would know more about you over time than some random stranger you work with. To some people, that is sentient AI, and we actively have that as I speak, and it blows my mind. Like it is actually crazy to me that I didn't know we were that far in advance, and then it took this conversation I had with ChatGPT for it to actually kick in. But I was like, yo, we technically don't have sentient AI because we don't have human AI. But we that's not gonna happen. That I mean, yeah, it might happen inevitably in the future. I don't know, but right now, what people consider sentient is like, oh no, that's not possible. That's not what's happening. No, that is dead ass happening right now. And so I was mind blown by all of this, and all I could say is I'm gonna try to hop on the AI train and get some sort of like job with AI. I swear. Because also, as I was having this conversation with ChatGPT, I asked it. I was like, can I get a job with AI with how? Because like it remembers everything I've talked to it about. So I'm like, you know, the stuff I ask about AI, the where I come from, the stuff I've talked about. Is there an opportunity for me? And it literally said I was writing the next season of Black Mirror, bro. So I was like, is there a job I can have? And it was like, yeah. And it gave me like a whole out fucking strategy to make a portfolio and try to, it gave me job ideas. So I'm gonna try to pursue probably something in AI for as like my first job, maybe. I don't know. But I was mind blown, dude. I was like, I didn't realize AI was this technical. I always speculated it was. I just never put thought to it because it would kind of scare me. But I kind of just came to reality of it whenever it gave me attitude. Not attitude, but it checked me. And I was like, yo, this thing just checked me. Are we like here now? And we kind of are. And like, so the gist of where we're at is an AI bot, a robot, or if you talk to ChatGPT, they will talk to you and they will reply to you. So like if you get on Dolly, which is the one that makes images, but you don't request an image, you just talk to it, it'll reply back as if it's like a hip person, like it's trying to be cool. Or if you go to a regular ChatGPT, it'll talk to you as if it's just like a normal, proper like sentence, like everything's just grammatically correct, it's normal. And then you can there's different like tones and different models you can have for like the voice, where it can hear you talk, you can show your face, and it can read your emotions, and it can basically be like, okay, this person's either sad or happy just by seeing your face, and it can process how a person would process somebody's feeling if they were talking to somebody that is sad or mad. And all of this matters because there's people out there in the world that can't do the slightest bit of that don't know how to regulate their emotions, that don't know how to talk in front of people, that don't know how to, like me, that have awful memory, that can't remember anything. And so this is just everything put in one, and it's every conversation it has with another like person or another bot, it just grows and gets smarter after each conversation. So like I said earlier, I am sorry if that was a crazy ramble, but I'm going to try to steer off of that specific topic because I'm kind of just freaking myself out. But I'm going to keep the ramble tone going because there was something that blew my mind that was going viral on social media. And I'm keeping it ramble tone because it's still kind of AI related. Not really AI, but like it's Mark Zuckerberg and he has an AI. But people are saying that Mark Zuckerberg is forcing people to follow MAGA accounts and just like random accounts here and there to be like, oh yeah, we're forcing your account to force follow this and this and this and this, and we're not going to give you the opportunity to say no, and we're going to force you to go unfollow if you want to unsubscribe to that type of mindset. People don't realize that whenever you have an Instagram account and you've been doing like a meme page or you just like a repost page or whatever for 4 to 5 years, and you're like, oh, rebrand. You don't publicly announce you rebranded, but you've deleted all your posts. You change you change your profile picture, your bio, everything about the account. And then you start posting other stuff to where you look at the said account that people are going crazy like, this person made me follow this account. Once you see like, oh, this, they started posting again like in March or April or just like a few months ago, and then you're like, oh, that's sketchy, let's go to the top of the page and click, oh, they've changed their at 5 times within the last so many years. Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? There's not, like, Mark Zuckerberg isn't out there being like, I'm going to force accounts to follow people whenever they already have existing accounts, or even if they create a new account. The only account I could see them automatically forcing people to follow is like Meta, Instagram, and Facebook. Those are the only ones, and that I give them kind of a pass on that. But they're not forcing you to follow any accounts. I'm leaning on the armrest again from the last episode. But still, you get what I'm saying. It blew my mind that I saw this go actually viral. I was like, wow. People don't realize that you can see when the last time they changed their account name was, and you can just scroll down to see when their first post was. Dog. Use context clues. Go through the post that they're tagged in. Some of them that have done it, because there's been like 4 or 5 of them since the whole topic went viral. I can't remember which the actual accounts were because it kind of just like blew my mind, and I was like, that's so stupid. And I just wrote it down in my notes, but I didn't get the full detail. If you go through and you really look through the account, some of them haven't even gone like and fixed the tagged posts. So like some of the posts are just like business posts, but then some of them are like, oh, this is a meme, and you're like, oh, okay, well they used to be a meme account, obviously. That shit's crazy. And I'm not saying some person like posted a meme and just like tagged this account. I'm saying this person reposted what the meme account used to be, and then they just tagged them as in like, hey, this is where the source is. So it blew my mind that I saw that. I don't know. It was crazy. But I wasn't gonna say anything on social media publicly like to be an asshole whenever I saw it. I was just gonna wait until I made a podcast. Okay. And this next thing I'm talking about is kind of really it's bitched opinions, technically, because it is a sport. So it's leaning on the armrest again. I'm telling you, I need to stop. I'm going to talk about Wrestlemania. Saturday and Sunday. Because I know a lot of you might be skipping now because you're like, oh, I don't care about wrestling. I don't really like care about wrestling. I'm just still like interested from it because it's like nostalgic from me whenever I was a kid, pretty much. Like I literally have Hornswoggle sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still the core few that I'm like I just watched them at a young age and they stuck. So, for example, there was the and by I'm gonna go ahead and say this up for there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. So if you were planning to watch WrestleMania and haven't yet, or who knows what the scenario would be, there's gonna be spoilers ahead. Warning now. But I think I have an unpopular opinion on this because a lot of people have been talking shit on social media about this. I've seen some people saying like they praised it, but I've seen a lot of talking shit too. Travis Scott coming out during arguably Cody Rhodes' most important match. He's putting John Cena out. He's doing the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment or the Shawn Michaels Undertaker moment. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a special moment behind it, and there's so much built up. He's the John Cena he's his first time going villain. He's having the final match at WrestleMania. This is it's Sunday. It's the last match for WrestleMania. So there's literally and then Travis Scott walks out during it and interrupts it, and he retaliates. Cody Rhodes does. He gets revenge because he had a moment where he got hit by Cody Rhodes, not Cody, but he got hit by Travis Scott, got like a black eye or something. But it was all just so. For me, I thought it was entertaining because I was like, okay, this is Travis Scott, and I like Travis Scott as like an artist, you know what I'm saying? So, plus I saw him live at the Yum Center. I was like, ah, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. My biggest unpopular opinion is the way they played out the story it was perfect in my opinion. And I'm not even like a big John Cena fan because like I like John Cena as a person because I watched him do the Kai stream and I've just watched him in movies over the years. I watched Peacemaker. Plus, I watched WWE as a kid, so like I saw John Cena during his peak of like, oh yeah, he's John Cena. But I never like I was always like a Jeff Hardy or like a Shawn Michaels, a Hornswoggle. Like there was always the others that I would prefer over him because he was just like the face, like the pretty boy, blah 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 blah. So seeing him go heel, I was like, I mean, this is pretty interesting. This is pretty wild. Now, they must have had either like gotten so much money from that. Oh, there's a thumb up right there. I didn't even see it. They must have gotten so much money from that or lost so much money from it. Either way, I feel like that must have been like John Cena's only stipulation to like, come back and do like a final match pretty much is to like, listen, I'll come back, but you have to let me come back as a villain and you have to let me win. Because the way he won felt like I was like, dude, there was many times where Cody Rhodes was supposed to win and people on social media being like, it was supposed to be Cody Rhodes and Travis Scott stole it for John Cena because as Cody Rhodes was about to pin John Cena, Travis Scott pulled the ref out the ring and knocked him out. There's a lot of playwriting, if you see what I'm saying, but like, it was just so controversial on social media that from what I've seen, to where like a lot of people are saying they sold for John Cena. I mean, I don't know any other way they'd get him to be like, hey, look, we know you have one championship until you can beat the record for the most championships ever. You're going to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time, solidified. Or you can lose to Cody Rhodes and give him this crazy epic moment. And if I was him, unless he's really trying to throw a bone, nah, don't. There's no reason to keep it tied with like I think it's Ric Flair. It's like 16 maybe, but yeah, he got 17 championships now. And all of this stuff, if you aren't a fan of WWE, this is probably just total nonsense. If you didn't skip this, but hey, you're a real one for listening because I'm gonna keep going. There was also a match with Randy Orton with I can't remember who it was, and I wasn't that interested in it. It was like a new guy. But I saw on social media that it was rumored Jeff Hardy was supposed to face him instead of whoever did. That would have been insane. If Jeff Hardy made his way to a WrestleMania, oh, I would have, because I skipped. I watched all of them late. Like I watched Saturday on Sunday, and then I watched Sunday I finished Sunday this morning. So I mean, I was just skipped through all the boring parts. Like I'm not really interested in the divas, to be honest with you. I tried to get interested in some of them, like the Charlotte Flair and what's the match where some girl landed like directly on her head, and I felt so much pain. And I was like, oh yeah, I got the switch from. There's no way she's okay with that. Which that's another reason why I'm okay with watching this, because like whenever I was a kid and I figured out it was fake, I was like, oh, I can't watch this. This gonna make me look like a child. But then as I'm watching it now, I'm seeing these people like do actual like flips on, even if like there's like a pad on the ground, or if there's like if it's soft or foam or whatever. The impact alone, dog. You should see how hard these people land, especially because some you can't fly, so you can't force how you land every time. These people land on their heads, and it was wild. But seeing Travis Scott come out was absolutely hilarious, and I was like, I wonder if this just opens the gate, because Andrew Schultz has been on WWE recently. Kai and Speed. There's all sorts of just random crossovers and collaborations that they brought into it. So there's no telling what's next, honestly. And it was weird that in America it was all on Peacock, but then all over the world, everywhere else, it was on Netflix. It's like, what behind the scenes contracts do you have where like there's so many stipulations of like, well, this has to be here, but America has to be here. It's like that's so weird. Oh, and I guess I can acknowledge I changed the backdrop. Shout out to, and this goes kind of like with last episode with to shout out to the real ones, where I gave a shout out to Beth and David. Bro, shout out to David and freaking Trey. They got this downstairs because they're pretty much professionals at moving anything you need, and I was like, yo, you're down to do that for me? I mean, I'll help. But then as they were doing it, I was like, if I start to help, I feel like I'll just start getting in the way. Especially because like it's not that big. It's big enough for two people to get one like each side. And I was like, man, if I feel like if I start helping, my hand's just gonna be, or my foot's gonna be in the. There's no telling. And they just fucking got it down the steps easy as fuck. But I got an arcade machine now. I was like, that is so hype. But yeah, so this is the new backdrop. Hopefully you enjoy it. Shout out to David and Trey for that one. I just realized I have to do this. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this next one is also going to be, I'm going to try not to spoil anything because there wasn't anything I appreciated enough to spoil out of excitement. But I'm going to complain a lot. And some of you might not care about this complaint. So I understand. But man, I watched the Minecraft movie. And I told myself I'm not paying to watch this Minecraft movie. If you can read between the lines there. And I mean, my main idea behind it was kind of what happened to the Sonic movies in the beginning. They made the animation and they got backlash, and then they changed the animation to where the people were like, okay, we can deal with this, we like this, and then they made that movie instead of the first one. That's what should have happened with the Minecraft movie, because they should have made the Minecraft movie how everyone wanted them to. Instead, they made the Minecraft movie with what looks like a bunch of green screens and Jack Black just running, doing a bunch of random stuff. And then they turned it to like part musical with they made questionable character roles, and the plot didn't even make sense. And there was, look at it, now I'm just getting on my soapbox and starting to complain. These are all the reasons why I didn't want to watch it, okay? I was sitting there mid watching it, counting, like, oh, you have to be joking me, like, okay, I said there's not gonna be a spoiler. I lied. This is gonna be a spoiler, but this is one of my biggest complaint towards the entire movie. And I was talking to coworkers at work, and they even like brought it up too, without me mentioning it first. And I was like, oh, so I know I'm not crazy. They don't acknowledge the Ender Dragon or the end, or like how to get there, what you get from getting there, like what the significance of it is, what happens, like that. Because Minecraft, the end is how you beat the game. So I don't know if they were waiting for an episode like a part two, like a second movie or something to touch into that. But not they touched on the Nether, kinda. They did, but like it was kind of like inaccurate. Now, but even though they didn't acknowledge the end, you can trade with the villagers to get the ender pearls. So they know the loopholes that they're avoiding. You know what I'm saying? There was a point where the three of them, he pulled elytras out of his pocket and he put elytras on them. And who knows how you got an elytra without even discussing the end. And I was like, dude, what the heck? And then the actual mobs themselves, some of the items they used, there was just so many things where it was based on like the RPG game where like you're third person looking down. It's like Smite, that view. I don't know. It ruined it for me completely. And this one's definitely going to be a shorter episode. Like earlier, whenever I said it's going to be a fat episode, I mean, it's going to be dense. Like the stuff I'm talking about, heavy. It's important to me, but it's not going to be long. That being said, I'm going to get straight to the shout out to a real one, like I always end it. And whoo! Oh, the Minecraft movie was Taste the Content. I don't know if I mentioned that, but shout out to Gigi and Wayne. And this is another where I'm doing 2-in-1. Because, man, talk about clutch. Both of them were on, like, different levels of, like, GOATS status, pretty much. Whatever scenario, whatever problem, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to be able to help. I guarantee. And cannot shout them out enough. So, shout out to them. And that's going to be it for this episode. I'll see you next one.